You doing okay, sir? You need some help?
No, I'm fine. I'm fine. Yes, yeah.
Some of those are art.
Here's your dollar off.
Oh, thank you.
Special things are there.
Oh, cute.
I'm Judy Wheeler, and I own Town Center Books. I bought it 20 years ago. Yeah, I was younger. And I was in the publishing business for, I've been in the publishing business now for probably 35 years. I was a sales rep, and then I was a regional manager for Candlewick Press when they first started. And then I was the sales marketing director at a wholesaler nearby. My background, my college degree, my background is all in retail. So I love retail. I just think it's fun. And when the store was for sale, there was a previous owner, and she came to one of our trade shows and said, I'm going to have to sell the store. And I thought Pleasanton deserved an independent bookstore, so I said, I'll buy it. My love of books began as a child, which I think it does with a lot of readers. My father read to me all the time. I can remember he would come home from work, and I would just go running up and say, will you read Mother Goose to me? And that was my favorite. I would sit on his lap, and he would read Mother Goose. So that's where it started. The number of people that visit Town Center varies a lot on the weather, and also if we have activities or authors. So a slow day might be 20, 28 people are actually purchasing. More might come in and browse and look around for a while. And up to, when we have events, we can have 100 people in the store at one time for an event. So it's a pretty big variation. Wow, my favorite events are really, that's tough. We just had an event with Paula Hawkins, who wrote The Girl on the Train, and it's #1 on bestseller lists. And it was fun because she was only at 2 places here, and so that was very exciting to get to be part of that. Harry Potter parties are still famous. We'd have them at midnight because that's when the book was. They have lay down times so that you can't sell a book before a certain date. So at midnight, you can hand out the books. So we had some really fabulous Harry Potter parties, and just, they're all fun in their own ways.
They put masks, they wear human masks on the back of their necks because tigers attack from the back. This is a place where tigers attack and eat people. So that's what's scary about this little scary part of it, but not too scary. And then they wear these masks because they try to trick the tigers because it looks like the front of the face. So I'm so grateful for Town Books that and all the indie booksellers that have hand-sold just really champion my books.
I'm an author. I write romantic suspense novels for Avon Books. I've been writing for about 8 years now. I have about 12 books out. Well, I think independent bookstores are really important. They offer up so many different kinds of books, and they showcase local authors as well. It's just so difficult now to get books in stores and out to the public, and it's also difficult for authors to shine on a big site, like big Barnes & Noble or Amazon or anything like that. So local bookstores are very important to authors.
I think that the staff here, we do our fair share of reading the big guys, but I think we also are we do a really good job of finding like the smaller guys, like the debut authors, or kind of people that nobody's really kind of tuned into. And I think sometimes we can steer people toward them to kind of give them their day too.
I do several appearances every year. This year I'm doing this book signing here at Towne Center Books. I've been here before. I love coming down here and doing book signings for them. I'll also be going to an event, a convention, a writers convention and a readers convention in Dallas in a couple of weeks. I'll be in New York where all the publishing houses are. That's another way to get to know like what readers really like, is when your fans come to see you and talk about your books and tell you what they really loved, what they didn't like so much, what they wish that you would put into a book. You get a lot of creative ideas from that as well.
It's awesome. Like it's thrilling. Sometimes you can you're a little bit starstruck sometimes. And other times it's cool because you get to meet the person behind the words. Like, I got to meet CJ Box, who writes all those like hard-hitting thrillers and, you know, like crime scene stories. And he was awesome. He was just a really down-to-earth dude, and he had the coolest cowboy hat that I've ever seen.
Right now, independent bookstores are the new in thing, and they are opening at a faster rate than they have since 1980s. And some of that, I think, has to do with shop local, people understand, use it or lose it. And I think the closing of borders really brought that to people's minds that, wow, stores, even big stores can go away. I better really watch out and support the smaller ones. I think some of the big stores kind of lost their way and put their emphasis much on electronics, which didn't really pan out so well for them. And bigger is not always better. Electronic books and different formats for books are definitely a reality, and people sometimes like to choose. I think they all have a place. If you're traveling, it might be convenient to download if you don't want to pack 25 books, or sometimes for research purposes, you may not want to own the book if you're just going to be using it for a short time. There are books that people want to own, need to own, and electronic books are actually not growing at the rate that was projected, so that has people kind of scrambling around. But we knew from the beginning, people like to hold a book. It's a different experience. You use a different part of your brain. There are a lot of studies that show you actually can comprehend more when reading a book. And we often hear, I need to own this book. I mean, libraries have been around for years, and we coexist with them just fine too, because people need to own books. Well, I think the book business, to survive like any business, needs to be aware of what's going on in the world and to change. Owning a small business is a 24/7 job. I never can really forget it. I just came back from vacation in Hawaii. It was wonderful. It was very relaxing, but I still was checking emails every day, calling the store saying, hey, did you remember this? And I mean, they do, they remember, but if it's your business, you really don't, you're the one. So it takes all of the, it takes a constant reminder, but it's also very, very rewarding, because at the end of the day, if it's all working, you can go, wow, I did this. Well, the Downtown Association, the Pleasanton Downtown Association, is very active, and of course we have a lot of parties and events and street things, but also they're very supportive on marketing and helping us get the word out. Well, we are in a bookstore, but we are sitting right in front of a display of jewelry. And most sidelines, we call them sidelines if they're not a book, they're just here to help with our profit margin, because they make a little more money than the books do. And also, they're nice add-on sales, and sometimes people are wandering in and not really in the mood for a book, and they'll see something else. We do try to make them, we have a lot of toys and games, and we try to make sure those are on the educational side. We carry some tea, because who doesn't like a cup of tea with their book? The jewelry, well, everyone wants to look nice.
For the displays, we like to think of ideas for say, our windows. We like to come up with just kind of zany thoughts that we can kind of turn into what we put on our windows. Like the one we have now is a throwback Thursday window where we put pictures of us as little kids next to the books that we loved when we were little. And so we love to come up with ideas to do that and like put here and there around the store. I'm Claire Margetts. I chat with people and I like to match them up with the book that they would most want to read. And I also keep the website up to date, and I keep that going. I do all the flyers for promotional materials, and then I do a lot of unpacking. I do a lot of schlepping of books. I unpack them, I pack them, and I do a lot of shelving. A lot of singing the ABCs to myself.
I've worked at Towne Center Books for 15 years part-time, and I sell books and I help customers and I have a good time.
We have many awards. We get a lot of the Bay Area best bookstore around Pleasanton, and that's pretty fun. And recently we were given an award by the PDA for kind of living up to our name and being the town center, where we host a lot of events and just kind of get people downtown.
We're always trying to raise new readers and get awareness of town center books and also the importance of reading. So we work with the schools, the breakfast book clubs at schools. Many of our schools here have kids that get together at 8 o'clock in the morning and break into groups and talk about books. And so we like to help pick out the books that might get those kids engaged and really keep them reading. And we work with programs with the library and the bookleggers that go into the schools and talk about books. And then again, I think our programs to try to attract new readers, we bring authors into the schools and sometimes here for field trips. It's always exciting when a child gets to meet an author.
We work collaboratively with Towne Center Books to bring authors to the library. Sometimes Towne Center will know that an author is on tour and ask if we want to host, and we're thrilled to. And sometimes we find an author that we would like to have speak at our library. And we're able to advertise to a broad range of readers and provide a space that will accommodate a lot of book lovers. And Towne Center brings books that people can purchase and have signed by the authors. Some of the people we've had are Patricia Polacco, the wonderful picture book author, Nick Bruell of the fabulous funny Bad Kitty books, and recently we had Raina Telgemeier and Kazu Kabushi, some of the hottest graphic novel authors today. And so those are our traditional author visits, but we also partner with the schools and kind of bring a third partner in, and we have school visits in the library where a number of classes will come and hear an author, and Towne Center will send order forms out to the teachers so that kids can purchase a signed copy of the book that the author has presented if they want.
Towne Center Books' role in the community, I think we're just a starting place for people to find something wonderful in, say downtown, or we're a meeting place. We like to kind of just create this atmosphere of welcome, where we have a big kids section that kids can just come and hang out. We have teens who just chill in our teen section for ages. They'll just come and be here. And I think that our atmosphere of like, hey, come on in is a really good spot where people know that they have a place in the community, and they know that they will always be welcome in Towne Center Books.
It's a great little store, good family-friendly place for, people who like books.
Well, Town Center Books, my opinion, is a gathering place for the community. You can come here, and adults, children, everybody can enjoy it. You can find wonderful things to read, meet authors, really feel engaged with your community and with what's going on downtown.
Oh, they bring people together so well. Judy's lunches around books, the book clubs, all the events, just getting people talking about books it's instrumental. And they provide a place in a community, and every time I come in here, there's people having conversations and they're talking to their customers, and it's fantastic.
I would go with that one. I really would. It's such a good book, and what would be nice is, if she liked it, you guys could rent the DVD and you could watch it together.
Oh, I think that Judy in particular is very active in the community, and one of the things she does is each month she has a read it and eat lunch with an author. So people from the community come and gather to meet the author, and Judy furnishes the lunch, and the book's available. And it's just, I've met so many people by going to those luncheons.
Judy is the bookstore. I mean, she's everything. She's kind of our master and commander, and she's the chief. So she kind of keeps everything going and keeps us in line, and we get it all done. And she's the best.
Well, summertime in Pleasanton is, it's fun for us because kids are out, life's a little looser, but we need things to do, and there aren't as many summer school classes options now either. So we've tried to put together some interesting summer programs. So we've done writing programs for young kids on up through high school. It's usually the younger ones that sign up. And they are very creative. They make their own, they study stories from character to location to theme, and it's a very creative process, and we like it a lot, and people are usually anxious to sign up again the next year. We've also done a few science summer camps, and then of course we just love book parties, so whatever occasion we can think of to put a little activity and give kids something to do in the summer, we'll go for that. I'll be in the grocery store and there'll be a child hiding behind mom going, I think that's the bookstore lady.